Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Anxiety and Depression. It's not the end, episode number 13. Today's topic is about you, about how you need to start taking care of yourself. And, the most important thing out of this whole experience that you're going through is learning how to love yourself and realizing that you are the one that is in charge of your life. Because when I was going through it, one of the things I was asking myself all the time was, why is this happening to me? What are the things that I am doing wrong that is taking me on this path that I don't want to be living in, right? And I just couldn't understand how I can fix things because I went to see professional help. And my family, my friends were helping me, and they were talking to me, and they're saying all these things, but no matter what they were saying to me, none of it was helping me in a way. What I'm saying is that, and you may be feeling that too as well, like if someone's trying to talk to you and trying to tell you these certain things, they don't register to you as, yeah, it's going to help me and I can do something about this to change my life, right? Because what you want is, you don't want to be living with this anxiety and depression anymore, but for some reason, whatever they're telling you, it's not, you're finding it that it's not that helpful. I mean, in a way it is. They're giving you this positive information, but it's not registering up here in your head to help you move farther, right? Like to those steps that you're taking, it doesn't seem like that it's actually helping you. So as I was listening to them and going to see professional help, and nothing was helping me, I had to find another way to get me going, to get me motivated, to inspire my own self, right? And things started to make a little bit more sense after, right? Because I kept looking myself in the mirror and I couldn't stand looking at myself. I started to pay more attention to the things that I was telling myself in my head, right? And what I was listening to was a voice that was telling me all these things that I didn't want to hear, right? And the more I started listening to these voices, these negative thoughts, the more my world was becoming that reality, right? Like, for example, if I woke up in the morning and my mind was telling me that today is going to be a horrible day, it actually turned out to be a horrible day. And if a voice was telling me, you know what, Roger, you have no future, and you're never going to find your happiness, and you're always going to be like this, you're going to be stuck in this darkness forever, and I kept listening to that and saying, okay, yeah, maybe you're right, maybe my mind is right, maybe I am going to be like this for the rest of my life. And that's how I couldn't picture myself being happy again, because I was so focused on these negative thoughts and I was believing in what it was telling me, so that that is why my life wasn't changing, right? And then one day I looked in the mirror and I said, you know what? I have to look at myself straight in the eyes, and I have to tell myself, hey, you know what? I'm not that bad. I mean, like my position right now, my life may seem like it's in a horrible place right now, but what is it that I can do to change everything and flip it around so that I can start seeing better and brighter days, right? And as I was staring at myself in the mirror, even though I didn't want to, because I lost like a lot of weight. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't, I wasn't taking care of my personal hygiene. I mean, like nothing that I wasn't doing anything positive to myself. And that was why my life was so horrible, was because I wasn't focusing on myself and taking care of myself, and it's about realizing that you are the source, the seed, the thing that's going to start everything, because it all starts with you. So what if you were able to start, waking up in the morning and telling yourself positive things, like positive affirmations? What if you woke up in the morning and you looked at yourself in the mirror and told yourself, hey, you know what? I love you. I love my life. I appreciate myself, right? And then once you start doing that on a daily basis, you're going to want to start maybe eating more healthy, right? Doing things to yourself that is going to say, you know what, I need to take care of myself. If I want a positive changes in my life and I want my life to be better, then if everything starts with me, especially up here in your mind, then that is my priority, that I have to start taking good care of myself. And I have to tell myself that I am important. Your self-worth, like how you think of yourself is so crucial, right? Because if I know it's hard. If you're going through anxiety and depression, it is so difficult to tell yourself these things, because most of the time you're thinking about negative thoughts. Most of the time you're telling yourself that, hey, you know what? I'm never going to get out of this mess. There's no way that no matter what anyone says, no matter whatever I do, I am always going to suffer, right? But I told myself I have to prove this wrong. I have to do I have to make changes, right? And once I started to focus that attention on myself, because I started to tell myself that, hey, you know what? There is a better version of yourself, Roger. You don't have to be living in this life that you hate so much for forever. Because every single day, you have the opportunity to make choices, right? We all have, every single day we can make choices, right? So what are the choices that you are going to make today to make a difference for tomorrow? And one of those choices that you have to start doing is to make better choices. Listen to those positive thoughts that I know it's hard, and I know it's like you can barely hear them, but they're there, telling you that, hey, you know what? Things are going to get better. You can change your life and make things better. But the first thing you have to do is you have to take good care of yourself. And, if you've been following my series for a while, I've been talking about loving yourself. Loving yourself and telling yourself that, hey, you know what? I am going through a tough time. I am, and everything is not okay, right? But who's to say that, you are not going to be able to overcome this? That you don't have that your strength is not there anymore, because it is there. Your strength is always going to be there for you, right? You just have to go and find it for yourself. And once you start taking good care of yourself, you're going to have so much more confidence. You're going to start believing in yourself, and then you're going to be aware of how much power you actually have, right? You have the power to change your life. You have the power to make these positive choices, right? You don't have to listen to your mind tell you these negative things every single day. You can wake up in the morning and you can actually have a healthy breakfast instead of skipping it or skipping all your meals for that entire day, because I did that. I literally didn't want to eat, even though there was food on the table, I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to exercise. I didn't want to, listen to anything positive, because I just thought that, there was no point anymore, right? And the more I thought that there was no point anymore to do anything, the more I suffered. And I didn't want that in my life anymore. So I said, you know what, enough is enough. I really have to start taking good care of myself. I have to start loving myself. I have to start telling myself that, hey, you know what, Roger, there is a amazing version of yourself in the future, right? But all you have to do is, even though, those steps, I always talk about those steps that you're taking, doesn't feel like you're going anywhere. You have, as long as I'm taking those steps every single day, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. And one day I'm going to be able to heal myself from my anxiety and depression. And one day I'm going to see my mom smile again, my kids happy, and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. And once I incorporated that into my mindset, I started to see these changes, right? The more positive things I started to pour into myself, the more positive changes start happening in my life, right? And that's what you want to see. You want to start seeing at least a little bit of change, right, from where you are today. Because if you wake up in the morning and you're telling yourself, and you're seeing that your life hasn't changed at all, and in fact it's getting worse each day, right? And that's going to stop you. That's going to stop you and tell you that, maybe there isn't a bright future for myself, right? So you have to break out of that routine of telling yourself that you're never going to heal, that you're never going to see brighter days, that things are always going to work out horribly for you, right? Get out of that mindset and start telling yourself, these positive things, right? And reminding yourself that, hey, you know what? I'm not weak. I am strong, right? I can get through this. I can make the impossible a possibility for myself, right? And when I was telling myself that every single day, guess what? Positive changes start to happen in my life, especially when I started to take great care of myself, right? I started to exercise. I started to eat more healthy. I started to take my showers, which I totally neglected, right? And that's a horrible thing to do. But I did it, and as I started to make these changes on a daily basis, my family started to see that I started to change. And when I saw them smile again, and I saw them, they started to approach me more and they started talking to me more, I knew I was doing the right thing. I knew that I took the right steps. I knew I started making the right decisions, right? So, it's going to be difficult at first, because it was very, very difficult for me, right, to understand, how to get things going for myself, right? But, you can start today. And if not today, then start tomorrow when you wake up fresh, with a fresh new start, and tell yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to start taking amazing care of myself starting today. And, and tell yourself that you love yourself. Just look at yourself in the mirror and look at yourself in the eyes and tell yourself that, I am so grateful for my life. And I appreciate everything that I have done so far to get to where I am today, right? And tomorrow, your future, anything could happen. Anything can happen, because life is full of surprises. And especially if you're going to start putting that effort and taking care of yourself, you're going to see these amazing and beautiful changes in your life, and you're going to be so happy that you made that choice to start taking care of yourself. Okay, so hopefully this video helps you. Remember to love yourself, and of course, number one most important thing is to focus, and your mind matters. All right, so I will catch you next episode. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe and like the video, and I will catch you next one. So take care. Bye-bye.
Are you tired of those negative thoughts? Let's get rid of them.
I say yes to life. I have faith in myself. I create my life.
I am a creative person. I have unlimited energy. I feel good. Nourish your subconscious with positivity. Just listen to Inner Tune and start changing your life, one thought at a time.